it's Julie Davison. Let me start over. Hey, it's Julie Davison from juliedavison.com. Oh, I'm a little tired tonight. You know, do you ever have those days where you feel like everything is going your way, you're getting things done, and then, like, all of a sudden you realize, like, oh yeah, you're running late. That's tonight. Hi, everybody! I'm so excited. I just got so wrapped up in designing projects to share with you tonight that I just realized I'm a little bit late. But I know you guys are so patient. And I'm so glad you're stamping with me today. We gotta just sometimes relax and enjoy the moment. I got this stamp set at On Stage. It was something they sent us for free in November as part of the swag bag, and I don't think I've used it. So tonight I'm breaking it out. I'm going to use this stamp set. It's not really my style, I have to say, but I'm going to case the catalog. Hi everybody. I'm going to case the catalog tonight, and I want to share a special resource with you. So this is something that for the last couple years, Stampin' Up! Has made available to demonstrators. It's a document that has all the sample recipes in it, right? So we see this card in the catalog, and then there's a list that has the product. So it's more like a supply list than a recipe list because it does not give measurements, unfortunately. But it does tell you all the products that were used to make the card, and it tells you like the techniques and stuff. Sometimes there's a little more instruction. You can see for the cards here that I printed out, like there's really not a lot in the instruction box. This one says cut the doily in half to make it shorter. Anyway, I was under the impression that we were not allowed to share this document. And then I recently found out that yes, indeed, we can share the document. So if you guys would like all the recipes, I shouldn't say recipes, they call them recipes, but it's really more like a supply list. If you would like a supply list for all the projects that are shown in the catalog, I have made it available for you to get, and that is at juliedavison.com/downloads/AC for annual catalog 2021 _R recipes.pdf. I'll put the link in the video description, but I wanted to show you some projects in the catalog today. This one in particular, which has kind of a fun faux tearing technique. Yeah, so Becky says they used to put that list in the catalog years ago. There used to be an index, you are right, and to try to minimize the size of the catalog. And with the everything going online, right? Like when I first started as a demonstrator 19 years ago, we had a demonstrator website, but we did not have an online ordering website where you could order on the website. We were just starting to do like websites and stuff, but PDFs weren't widely shared back then. So the only option we had was to have it in the printed catalog. But now we can make it a separate document. And so really we've got 2 or 3 different cards to a page. So this document is like 176 pages or something like that. Like there's no way they could put it in this format in the catalog. So it's nice to kind of have an expanded list and individual project photos. So if you're interested in that, you can grab that right there. I'll put the link in the video description. So today we are going to case this catalog. We're going to use the sample recipe. It told me the techniques. So those are the techniques we're going to do. And I'm loving this one too. I love all the cards. I go through and you can see I've got flags on the catalog. I go through and I mark like projects that I like, and I will come back and I will copy them, and we call it casing, right? So copy and share everything, or I like copy and selectively edit. And so that's exactly what we're going to do tonight with this card. I like the card. I've got the stamp set, but I wanted to do something with the challenge colors. So every other week in Julie's Stampin' Spot Share and Connect group, I do a color challenge. So right now we've got a color challenge going on, and I feel like I want to put these in some kind of rainbow order here. Our color challenge is these 4 colors. So the challenge is to use at least 3 of the 4 colors on your card. So the colors this time are Crushed Curry, Cajun Craze, Merry Merlot, and Evening Evergreen. And somebody commented, oh gosh, these are really fall colors. And of course you can make a fall card, but I was actually inspired by the In the Wilds designer paper that is new in the catalog. Is that what this is called? Did I just make that up? I feel like it's called In the Wilds. This is a new suite in the catalog, and the colors for the color challenge came right from the designer paper. I'm trying to find the paper in the catalog. I think I'm too far back. Let's go forward here. Yeah, I was right. In the Wilds. Let's just take a quick look. I do not have this bundle. I only have a little bit of the designer paper. Oh gosh, I'm losing my mind tonight, guys. What page was it? 161. Oh, that must be where the dies are. 44 and 45. Whoops. There we go. In the Wild. So I love these colors. We've got the Crushed Curry, Cajun Craze, Evening Evergreen. I wanted to throw Soft Succulent in there, but I only have 4 spots for the color challenge. So I picked Merry Merlot, which is that beautiful dark red in there. So maybe you'll use this designer paper to create a card for the challenge, or maybe you'll come up with something else. Maybe you'll make a fall card, or maybe something for not Valentine's Day, Father's Day. I think this is a really nice masculine color combination. Either way, I hope you participate in the color challenge and that you will share your project in Julie's Stampin' Spot Share and Connect group. I don't really have a deadline. It's kind of open-ended, but every couple months I go through and I pull all the names and I draw for a stamping prize, usually like a stamp set or card kit or something like that. So you definitely want to share a card there and participate for your chance to win. Hello, everybody. Oh, it is hot here too in Illinois. I see Carolyn said hot, hot, hot in Vegas. Oh my goodness, 115. That is a little crazy. How hot is it wherever you are? Leave a comment and let me know. We're going to go ahead and use these colors. I did pull out this paper. I think we're going to use a little bit of this paper on the card. So for this card, we are going to copy that catalog sample. And so we've got a tearing technique that we're going to do. I always called this faux tearing, but it's also just like a masking or a blending or a brushing technique. So I've did a sample to make sure it worked okay. So what I did is I just tore a piece of grid paper in half, and then I glued it down so that it would stay put. So I've got it glued down on the top and glued down on the bottom, and I'm going to take my cardstock. This is 3 inches by 5.5, and I'm going to slide it in. And so you can kind of decide how you want that tearing to be. And actually, I feel like I want to make this just a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to come down with the paper so that the opening is bigger. Okay, so I can still get my paper in and out, and this way these are not going to slide, and I can just try to hold the paper while I'm blending. For this technique, you could use sponges or sponge daubers. I'm going to use the new blending brushes, and I'm going to blend some Crushed Curry and some Cajun Craze. Those are 2 of the 4 colors for the challenge color, and I'm going to work with the yellow first. So I just re-inked this, and well, my first attempt, it wasn't good, guys. It was bad. And so I realized the need to practice first, but also to really blend or brush off of the cardstock before going like where you want it to go. So we're going to do that. We're going to pick up some color. I'm just like brushing it right off the top. And then before I go onto my cardstock, I'm just going to kind of get the softer color. And see, now we've got this beautiful blend, and it's not, oh, my paper is shifting. You know what? I think we need to put just a little, I'm just going to put like just a little bit of adhesive to keep the paper from sliding. It's not enough that I'm not going to be able to pick it up, but it's enough that hopefully it'll keep it from sliding around. Okay, so we're going to do some blending, and I've got two colors just like the sample in the catalog. I'm going to use Crushed Curry and Cajun Craze. So I'm just trying to like hold down the paper while I'm blending. I'm gonna make a mess tonight. I'm usually not messy, but like blending and sponging sort of is a little bit messy, isn't it? Okay, now for the Cajun Craze, again, like I want to get that initial crazy off, the big spot, the blotch. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do that blending. And I love like these colors, Crushed Curry and Cajun Craze, you know, are kind of similar. So they blend really nicely and create some color here. Okay, so by blending against the torn paper, we're going to end up getting that texture on our cardstock. I'm really excited about that. I think we've got a good blend. Just trying to fill in the gaps there. Before we do the reveal, I'm going to show you, we're going to stamp. So again, I'm just copying this right from the catalog. Let me show you. There was a little, there it is. They showed you how they have the grid paper and then blending. So now we're going to do the stamping part. And we want to do that while the grid paper is still on there because we'll get sort of these half images. So I'm going to use the darker of the yellow red colors. This is Mary Merlot. And I'm going to stamp kind of like over the edge. And then we're going to add the little seeds too. Okay, now we're ready for the reveal. Are you ready? Oh, hi, Bonnie. It's okay that you're late. You've been cutting the grass. Is it hot where you are? We're talking about how hot it is. I don't know what the actual temperature. I'm just doing a little hand sanitizer to clean my hands because I feel like they're so inky. I got ink earlier, and that was actually from cleaning the stamps. So I'm just going to pull this gently, and look how cool that looks. And so because this is like sponging, this is all flat, right? It's not actually torn paper, but the torn paper here kind of gives it that look. So this is going to go across the Mary Merlot card base. And then the original sample had a little designer paper, and so I want to add a little bit here. So I'm going to cut some strips from this In the Wild and bring in a little more of this Cajun Craze color because here it looks really light. And so we're just going to add, let's see, I think I'm going to do like 3/4 of an inch strips and just put them on the top and bottom so that I don't have to use a big piece of this paper. So here's how we're going to do that. Let's put these on first. And then the white paper is going to go over the middle. And so it's just going to look like the paper is all the way across. I'm not sure about spacing, so I'm not going to push really hard as I glue this down in case I need to pull it back up again. And let's check the spacing. So we don't have a lot of it showing. I'm going to bring them up and down just a little bit. So I'm going to go like, what is that? Maybe 3/8 of an inch from the edge of the top and the bottom. That looks better. Now we're going to trim with the scissors because this was 6x6 paper. And we'll add our sponged piece. That's so pretty. Okay, and then I've got this piece for the inside. So while I have my stamp out, let's just go ahead and add one in the corner. I'm trying to remember to do my insides right. Oh, we were getting this one out, and now we're gonna do the taller. Now, I know all of these like have names, but I have no idea like what kind of plants these are. Do you guys know? You guys are always so smart. I'm sure somebody has some ideas on the plants that these are. And sometimes we've got plants and flowers that are from other areas of the world, right? Because Stampin' Up! Is in Europe and South Pacific. And so sometimes the flowers and the like seeds and stuff, they're just stuff that we don't see over here in the United States. Oh, Eva says, I'm always amazed how easy you get the paper to move after you use adhesive. So the big reason I can move it is because I don't push really hard when I put it down so that I can still like peel it up. So I push down a little bit, but I wait to know that it's where I want to go. Now, if you have a problem with adhesive, then the liquid glue is a good one because it has a little wiggle room. However, like once that dries, it's not coming up. So I always make a mess with the liquid glue, so I prefer the Stampin' Seal. Okay, I fussy cut that. There is not a die for this set. All of these are just stamp images with no dies. Thistle pads, Janice says. Thank you, Janice. Of course, I knew you would know. So are they all different thistles, or like is this one thistle but this is something else? These look like the little seed pods on my maple tree. Okay, this is inside just 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I'm gonna do this in the front with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And for the sentiment, I'm going to use my Evening Evergreen and bring some of that color in. Elizabeth says chestnut, milkweed. Okay, so poppy. It sounds like there's, you guys know a lot. Chinese lantern. Okay, so there are a lot of different, is it appropriate to call them all like seed pods, or are they flowers? They all seem seedy, seedy to me. Seed potty. I don't know if that's the right word. Okay, I don't know where to put this one. I don't like it like that. I'm gonna just have to cover that up a little. It'll be fine. Okay. So now we need a sentiment, and like I said, I want to use our last color for this color challenge, which is Evening Evergreen. So I've got Enjoy the Moment, and I'm going to punch that out. Oh, I smeared. Let's try again. I'm punching out. Now, this is a retired punch. This is 1.5 inch circle. And if you don't have this punch, then you can get the layering circle framelits. We don't have any circle punches right now, but the layering circle framelits has, oh my gosh, so many different circles, so many different framelits in it. So that's a good one because you get lots of sizes, and it's really economical to get a bunch of circles. Plus it has the scallop circles, so that is really good. And I think they all fit in the mini die cutting machine. Okay, what do we think? I wish that my sponged part was bigger. I feel like there's a lot of white space going on here. And that maybe I would have liked that to be just a little bit more spongy. But let's put this together and we can compare it to the original and see how we did. I'm definitely going to try this technique again. And I will just have to make my space a little bigger. This is the new Evening Evergreen ribbon. It's like a chevron weave ribbon in Evening Evergreen. This is one of the new in colors. So there's a brand new ribbon in the annual catalog. This was part of my ribbon share. I did a paper share and ribbon and embellishments. And in fact, I still have a couple left. There were a couple people who signed up and didn't pay. So if you're interested still in getting a little bit of all the new ribbon and designer paper, let me know. Leave a comment and I will send you all the details about how much it is. And they're ready to go. So I can get those in the mail. I think I have 2, so I have to double check. But if you're interested, let me know. Okay, there's our card. Makes quite a little mess. I'm gonna just try to sweep really quick. Oh gosh, I need that. What was it, Mom? That Mom had that little desk vacuum. I forgot to order that. That would be so perfect for my little desk cleanup. Okay. Oh, Jana says she's very interested in the ribbon share. I will send you the details. It includes the product share includes the paper and the ribbon and embellishment. So it's not just ribbon. It's like everything together. Okay. Let's take a look at the inspiration card again. And here's ours. So they did some heat embossing for the, what were these called? Thistles. And then they did the sentiment a little bit differently. And they do have a lot of white space, but I think their width is just a little bit bigger. So if I could just make that a little bit bigger, it's like a phone. I want to just go like this. You can see that they've got blue paper on the blue card. So there you go. I kind of like theirs a little bit better, but my version's not too bad either. Oh, all right. Well, let's move on to another card. So while I was on this page and trying to figure out what I was going to share with you guys, well, first of all, I really love this one, and I'm kind of tempted to just make it really quick because it's so easy. You know what? Let's do this. I wasn't going to, but let's do a bonus card really quick because this one is so super easy. So, let's take, I should have another half of the Mary Merlot. Oh, no, it's in here. Okay, sorry. I've got another card base, Mary Merlot. Is that Mary Merlot? Nope, that's Cherry Cobbler. Here's the Mary Merlot. Mary Merlot is almost like a purple. It's it's very wine. I was gonna say it's sort of like a wine color. Well, that's what Merlot is, isn't it? It's a wine. So that makes so much sense. For the white, I'm gonna go a little bit smaller. Usually we do 4 inches by 5 1/4, and for this one I'm going to do 3 3/4 by 5. So this is just going to give us a little bit more of a border, just like our sample card there. And I should cut another piece for the inside so that we can stamp inside too. I'm just going to make this the same size. Okay, and then, all right, do you see this technique? They're stamping happy birthday repeatedly and also doing some blending. So we're going to do that in, let's do it in the, let's do the blending in crushed curry, and maybe we'll do the happy birthday in, Cajun Craze. Oh gosh, I've got these marks. Do you see that? I tried to get rid of them. Let's try to, oh yeah, that's a lot softer. We got rid of our crazy brush marks. I love this. Last week we kind of got this same effect with the, what were we using? Oh, the chalks. I'm going to need to get out some stamps. We need the happy birthday, and I kind of think I'm going to do it in crushed curry because I think it's going to make more sense. So we're stamping and then like stamping again without re-inking to get these different, oh, that looks really cool. So we've got different shades of the crushed curry and kind of all over the place. They really like kind of went extra in there too. Okay, and then we need some more we're going to do these in a couple different colors because we gotta work our colors in there. So let's do, this is Cajun Craze, and let's bring that in over here. And the Merry Merlot, which I think I actually did use on top. This is cool. I really am digging this. And then I'm going to clean this one. I'm totally copying the layout, like the stamps. Oh, goodness me. The stamp images and the positioning of those stamp images. You could do whatever you want, though. I mean, you could stamp these anywhere. I need a new new chamois. It's so messy. If you are new to stamping, the stamping chamois is what you use to clean your stamps. I have got such inky fingers tonight. Okay. We're almost done. We're going to do our sentiments. Let's stick with the green. Oh, I gotta do something over here. This is for the inside. Just a little shadow. And okay, that's for the inside. For the outside, okay, they did, sorry, I'm thinking on the fly. They did a little banner. That is crooked. And I love, we do this all the time. We're using the tailored tag punch, and we're going to cut a banner tip in there. This is going to need to be narrower. Okay. Let's bust the paper trimmer out and make this narrower. I'm using the line here on the paper trimmer to okay, let's start with the narrower instead of trying to make it narrow afterwards. Let's go with 1 1/4 inch. Take the top off. And let's get some more of this in there. This is too thick. Let's double up like this. I'm looking again at the sample, which I'll show you in just a moment. Sorry, I'm so quiet. Okay, I think this is gonna fit. We've got a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom. And I still want to make this. Okay, that's gonna drive me crazy. Oh, this is how I craft at home. I'm at home right now, but I just mean like, this is how I craft when nobody's watching. I redo it, I redo it, I redo it. This time I made it 1 inch and it's not centered. Let's just flip it over. Oh my gosh, that's even worse. Okay, Julie, go with it. Oh, I'm such a perfectionist. Are you guys a perfectionist when you stamp? Do you like do it over and over and over again until it's just right? Please tell me it's not just me. Okay. I most certainly have ink all over everything. I have made such a mess. Hold on. Okay. My trick for the ribbon is the tearing tape. Okay, so we're going to arrange the ribbon how we want it to go. This is tight because it's so small, but I'm going to use the tearing tape to stick it down and hold that ribbon in place. I'm not going to take that tearing tape up. It is just, the purpose is only to hold down the ribbon. Then I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals, maybe. This is so bumpy. Let's see how this works. Enjoy the moment. Oh, that's for the inside. Okay, tape. Scalpel. Oh, good, Janice. She says she feels so much better knowing she's not the only one who does stuff like this. That makes me feel better knowing that I'm not the only one. A lot of times when I do my cards, like I know I practice or I have an idea what I'm going to show you, but sometimes when I do it on the fly, like it doesn't come out exactly the way I want it to. All right, let's look at the catalog. Let's see this inspiration. Hi, Colleen. We're copying some projects from the catalog. So in looking back at this one, they had the enjoy the moment down here a little bit more, but I wanted to space it away from the other green elements that I used. And I'm kind of wishing I'd stamped the happy birthday even more, like closer together, but I think you still get the effect. A little on the inside we've got right there. So we've made 2 cards so far tonight, and we've copied from the catalog here on page 26 of the annual catalog. We did this one with the masking. That was really fun. And then we used the blending brushes again over here. Now, if I were stamping this again, I would have more words be in the back, but I still think you get the same effect. So now I've got this nice little card set. these two that we used using the Enjoy the Moment, and I was using the challenge colors. So again, let me show you those colors. I would love for you to make a project using these colors. So the challenge is, this ink pad is not closed all the way. The challenge is to use 3 of the 4 colors using any stamps, right? Whatever you'd like. 3 of the 4 colors. I used all 4, but you don't have to. And then make your project and share it on Julie's Stamping Spot Share and Connect group on Facebook. We have so many awesome, talented stampers who share their projects there, and I love it so much. It just makes me so happy to see what you're creating. So I hope that you'll participate in the color challenge. I will do a little drawing for a prize, so you'll definitely want to make a card so that you can be in on that. Okay. Speaking of cards that other people made, I want to take a moment to do mail call. I got 2 cards in the last 2 weeks that I want to share with you. The first card I got is from Lori Helvig. Oh my gosh, Lori is just the sweetest. She's a demonstrator in Peoria, Illinois, and just got back from Maui. Now, Maui was the first incentive trip that she earned, and she's been a demonstrator for 21 years. So it was so much fun to spend time with Lori and her guest, Bonnie, in Maui, and she sent me this sweet card using the new Peach designer paper. So thank you so much, Lori. It totally made my day to get your beautiful card in the mail. Last week during Thursday Night Stamp Therapy, I shared some techniques using the new soft pastel assortment. And so Jill Williams made this card where she stamped with Versamark and then used the chalks to color the beautiful sunflower. And I was so happy. I always love to hear how I inspire you and how the things that I show you directly inspire you to create. And so it just tickled me so much that Joe made this card with the Stampin' Pastels. And then when it came in my mailbox, that was such a wonderful surprise. So thank you so much, Joe. Oh my gosh, I love getting cards, and I know you do too. So I hope that you will consider participating in the Great Big Card Swap. There's still one more week. 1 week from today, on June 24th, I will share all the cards that I've received, which I think we're up to almost 100. At least 75. And I know we've got a week left. So here's the deal. Here's what's going to happen. You send me a card and then you get a card back. So inside your card, you want to make sure to, first of all, send a full-size card. What does that mean? That's just like a regular card like we just made, not a 3x3, like not a small card, like a regular full-size card, and a full card, not just a card front. Okay. Make sure that you don't write inside the card. You can include a little Post-it note that says, hey, hello. You can include a loose note and tell a little bit about yourself if you want, whatever you'd like. It doesn't matter. And then also make sure that you include a return postage stamp inside your envelope. What does that mean? Just like a loose stamp like this. I will then provide all the envelopes and I will mail them all back. Okay, so you send a card, then you get to see them all. We'll do a showcase video next week, and then you get one back in the mail. Yay! I think this is so much fun. I get happy mail seeing all your cards, and then I get to take them all and send them to you. So you get happy mail. And because we've left them blank, hopefully you will send them on again to somebody else. So somebody else gets happy mail. So lots of happy mail to go around. You can send your cards to Julie Davison, P.O. Box 6164 in Champaign, Illinois, 61826. Now, I did have some questions from international stampers, and yes, you can participate. I have a PayPal button set up on my blog where you can purchase 3 return postage stamps that you can use for the next 3 months. So I already got a card from someone in Canada, and no matter where you are in the world, you might need to send a little early. Okay, so the theme for June is new Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog, and you want to make sure to send it for the showcase, which is going to be Thursday, June 24th. I will tell you, if you send a card and it arrives late, I'm still going to swap it and you'll still get a card in return, and I will still bless somebody with your card. You just won't be in the showcase video. I'll try to show those extra cards that come for June. I'll show them like on like the next week during Thursday night stamp therapy. It just won't, if it doesn't make it in time for the video showcase, then, you know, it won't be on that video, but it will still, you'll still get a card back, okay? The theme for July is birthday, and the deadline for that is July 22nd. Okay, so July 22nd, the theme is birthday. So if you're a little worried about transit times, you can send for July, and make sure you write July card swap on the envelope so that I know to hold it. And so for that one, it doesn't have to be current. You can use retired Stampin' Up. If you don't have any Stampin' Up, you can still send a card. I got some questions about that as well. So when I swap them back, I know there's a lot of demonstrators who are participating, and if they're sending a Stampin' Up card, then they want a Stampin' Up card in return. So if you send a card that is off theme or not Stampin' Up, I will absolutely still swap it. I'm just going to send Stampin' Up cards to people who sent Stampin' Up cards. And if you send a card that's not Stampin' Up, I will send it to somebody else who also sent a card that is not Stampin' Up. I just want everybody to be happy and know what they're getting in return. So that is how I'm going to handle that. Everyone will get a card back, and everyone who sends a card will get a card back. And so that's going to be so much fun. Yay! Okay, so great big card swap. The other thing I want to tell you about is I'm doing an online class on June 30th. This is the first time I've done this, so it's going to be an interactive online class where you can purchase the kit with the pre-cut cardstock, and then you can tune in and stamp along with me as I make each of the cards. So in the past, I've done Stamp of the Month Club, where I feature a different stamp set each month, and now I'm turning it into a class. So this is what the card kit will look like. You're going to get pre-cut pieces inside envelopes, so you can decorate your envelopes to match. You'll also get 6x6 pieces of the hand-penned designer paper. This is from the new catalog. I love this. We will be cutting during the class. We will be cutting from the designer paper to create the cards, but you will have some leftover pieces that you can use to make other cards. You'll get some white cardstock to cut from, and then some linen thread to use on the cards as well. So you can purchase a card kit. It's $15 plus postage, or if you prefer, you can get just the PDF. If you live outside of the United States, I won't be able to do a card kit, but you can get the PDF. So that is $10 if you just want to cut your own cardstock and follow along. The class is free, so everyone will be able to watch. And if it inspires you to make cards, that's awesome. If you want to follow along and stamp with me, you can get that card kit. The place to register is tinyurl.com/June 2021 SOTM, which is Stamp of the Month. So June 2021 SOTM, and that's the tiny URL. And that's the registration site where you can sign up for the card kit. You can choose what kind of postage you want, if you want first class or if you want priority mail. And then you also have the option to add on the stamp set and or the dies that coordinate at a discount. So you can add the stamp set for $20. You can add the dies for $35, which is cheaper than buying them on your own in the online store. So if you don't have these yet and you want to get them, adding them onto the card kit will save you money. You'll save $10. And then if you add on both the stamp set and the dies, you're actually also going to get a free gift, which I don't have on my desk to show you, but it is the In Good Taste wooden elements that you can use to customize the cards. You guys want to see you want to see a couple cards? Yay, of course you do. I'm going to show you just a couple of the cards. There'll be 5 cards total, and here are 2 of them. You can see this gorgeous designer paper from the hand penned. paper. I love the B-side patterns with the single color. Really love the way these turned out. Here's the In Good Taste wooden elements that I used to customize that card. So these are just 2 of the 5 cards that we're going to make. You kind of get a sneak peek there of some of the other ones. So if you want to join me and stamp with me live, it'll be Wednesday, June 30th at 7 p.m. Central Time on YouTube. This is going to be my first YouTube live, and you can get your card kit right now, tinyurl.com/June2021 SOTM, which is Stamp of the Month. Okay. I wanted to use a little bit of that paper for our next card. I love this hand pen paper so much. So we're going to use the polka dot piece. And this card actually was inspired from the catalog as well on the same page. So this is definitely one where we are going to copy and selectively edit. Let's go back to this page where we made the other 2 cards. Here's the card layout. In fact, the stripe paper is also from the hand pen. And I really just thought that card layout was really great. Really simple, really easy. We've got some designer paper in the background and then the foreground piece with the sentiment. So we're totally going to change everything about this card. We're just going to use the layout. So this card used the seashells. We're going to use the Party Puffins to create a card. So I've got my piece of hand penned designer paper. This is 3 inches by 5 inches. And this is going to go on the left side of the Pale Papaya cardstock. And then this piece is 2 3/4 inches by 4 inches. I didn't measure, that was a guess. So I'm going to use my favorite little puffin with the party hat on. I'm going to stamp in Memento Black ink. Oh gosh, I'm so messy tonight. So stinking cute. Okay, so we've got our little puffin guy, and then I'm going to do Happy Birthday. I cut a piece of fresh freesia. I love this combination of pale papaya and fresh freesia. This is, these are 2 of the in colors. Okay, so I've got Happy Birthday, and that's going to kind of go up here. And I want to stamp really quick on the inside while I've got my ink pad out. Oh my gosh, I'm so messy. I got ink on that ribbon. Ugh. So the inside says, to someone who makes others so happy. And then I also wanted to use the cake image. So I'm just going to put that down in the corner in Pale Papaya ink. So just a quick little cake. I feel like I'm going to make such a mess. I got to get these stamps out of my way. Okay, so that's the inside. This is going to be on the front, and we're going to color. Guess what we're going to use? Pale Papaya and Fresh Freesia. So I'm going to do the Pale Papaya for the, I'm trying to remember how this puffin, I haven't stamped him in a little while. Okay. I'm going to do the darker one on the outside and his feet. Oh my gosh, he just comes to life with a little color, doesn't he? And then I'm going to do the lighter one on the inside. Okay. And then we're also going to use the lighter on the party hat. And we'll color in the polka dots. You know what? I feel like I'm going to go a little darker. So each of the Stampin' blends comes with 2. You get a light and a dark of the same color. And you can blend and shade. Now this, what we're coloring is so small, so there's not really a whole lot to blend and shade. Okay. I love the puffins because they're really easy to color, right? We don't need a lot of craziness because mostly he's just black. So this is super easy. Now I was debating, the original card had a little ribbon. And so I was trying to I was trying to decide if I liked that ribbon. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I just had a thought. I gotta grab some different ribbon. I didn't mean to be startly, but I remembered this ribbon. Oh my gosh. This is actually originally a Halloween ribbon. It's the black glittered organdy ribbon, but it is so fun for the puffin with the black. And it is just really like sparkly and fun, right? For birthday. Isn't that cute? My gosh. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Let's do some dimensionals. And then I do feel like we're going to want to add some kind of like, what do we have? Some kind of like sequins or enamel dots or something like confetti for this guy because he's too cute and ready to party. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of adhesive on the bottom and then stick, just gonna go slightly shorter. Okay. That is lovely, except it covers the party hat a wee smidge. Okay, most of it is on the white, but the corner here is on off the edge. So we're going to use a Stampin' Dimensional on that corner and then some regular adhesive. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, what kind of bling? Ooh, we've got, I think that might be what we're gonna use. Yep. Okay, so that is the In Color Jewels. And actually that reminds me, just yesterday I received that back-ordered In Color Jewels. So if you participated in the In Color product share with me, the In Color Jewels were on back order. And I had some for the people who ordered early, but the people who ordered a little bit late, they were on back order. So I'm gonna get those out in the mail to you tomorrow. So watch for that if you are waiting. And how would you know? There was a little note inside your product share that said that they were coming. So if you got a little note in your product share, then the In Color gems are back and I will be sending them to you soon. Okay, we always say 3s, but you know what? I think we're going to need to do like 5 odd numbers. We always want odd numbers. What do you think about that? Maybe too many? Oh, I always struggle so much with placements. Yeah, I think I like that though. Like, it does look like confetti. What do you guys think? Let's take a look at the original card sample. It did not have, Alita says, never too many. I agree. Well, no, that's not always true. Sometimes there's too many. Okay, let's come back here and check out our sample in the catalog. And see what inspired us. So some of the other ones that we did tonight, we copied, like use the same stamp set. This is the card that inspired us, and we went totally rogue. I'm looking now and wishing maybe my paper was a little smaller, like I did a little shorter. Should we pull it apart? No, Julie, don't do it. Too late. You're going to see, you're going to like it so much better. And you're going to say, you were right. You were right. It definitely needed to be not as wide. Keeping it real. This is how I craft. So originally we were 5 inches. We're going to cut it down to 4 3/4. We were 3 inches in our width, and we're going to go to 2 3/4. So we're just cutting a little bit, but I think it's going to make a difference. All right. Back on our card like it never even happened. Okay? Don't freak out. We got this, guys. Okay, we do just need to adjust our gems. Ah! Hi, Nancy. I hope that your late night at work is going okay. We tore apart a card, but we put it back together. So just a regular night here. Oh my gosh. You guys don't hate me. Okay. Oh, I love it. 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 Okay. So that was the Party Puffins. Do you want to see some swap cards? I have some really great cards from other demonstrators using this stamp set that you are going to totally love. Do you have the Party Puffins yet? Here is the stamp set. Let me put it in the center and I will show you some of these cards. So here's the one that we just made. And we used the Pale Papaya and Fresh Freesia. Here's one from Meg Lovin. She also used the Fresh Freesia, Pale Papaya, and she added some of the new Polished Pink. Here's one that I made, the Vertical Diorama card. I did this back for the catalog launch in May. So this one stands up like that, and we've got a lot of depth and dimension there. This is Calypso Coral paired with the Pale Papaya. Here is a swap card by Rayanne Littrell, and she also used Polished Pink, Pale Papaya, and Fresh Freesia. This one by Deb Schneider. She also used 3 different patterns from that hand-penned paper. So this is the paper that I used, and she used other patterns from the same set. Love it, love it, love it. And this last one is from Benty Snow, and I saw her in Maui, and my mom actually got this swap card, and I loved it so much. It was my favorite one in my mom's bag. I didn't swap at Maui, so I didn't get my cards done in time. Well, I ran into Benty the next day in the hospitality room, and I told her how much I loved the card that mom got, and she had an extra, and she pulled out and gave it to me. Oh my gosh, I was so tickled. And that reminds me, I need to send her a card. I told her that I would send her one in exchange. So, oh my gosh, so beautiful. I love the colors here. It looks like, I think that's the Polished Pink. Yeah. And then we've got Granny Apple Green and Daffodil. Such a beautiful card. And this rich black, I have to show you because she embossed, and that made such a difference in making that so crisp and beautiful. Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay, that's Party Puffins. There's the card that we made. A little simple tonight using that layout, but we zhuzhed it up with some glitter ribbon. I think I've got one more card. Do you guys want to make one more? Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Let's do it. The last card uses another new bundle from the catalog. This is the In Symmtery. And I also wanted to use these border dies. So this is, it's kind of a case of a card that I saw Stampin' Up! Post a couple weeks ago, I think it was. Like, I had just gotten the bundle, and so I remember thinking, like, how cute it was. So we're going to use the In Symmtery. Let me show you this designer paper. So this is a new suite in the catalog, and I love the colorful paper. I think we made some cards with this last month when the catalog first came out. So we've got these beautiful flower patterns in the bright colors. And I love that the pattern is so small. So it's really easy to cut this and create, like, you know, do this for a one sheet wonder. The back sides are all like solid color with, you know, solid one color with different patterns. So we're going to use a little bit, I'm thinking the green one, but you guys will have to let me know what you think when we get everything stamped and made. I also wanted to use the new border dies. These are kind of a hidden gem in the annual catalog down back there on the dies page, because there is not a coordinating stamp set, but we have 6 different dies that cut stitched borders, and you can use these on an envelope. Actually, that's a really great idea. We should use it on an envelope and see what that looks like. Let's get one out. Okay. When we die cut our paper, we'll die cut the envelope too. Don't let me forget. Okay, so let's start with some stamping. So we're going to stamp using some flowers and leaves, and the colors I took right from the designer paper. So we've got Calypso Coral, Just Jade, and Crushed Curry, and that just coordinates with the designer paper. That's how I selected the colors today. And let's bring out that grid paper to stamp off the edges. I'm going to start with the largest flower that I'm using. It's not the largest in the stamp set. I'm doing this in Crushed Curry, and whenever I stamp to fill like a whole background, I always try to do like a triangle, and then I complete the triangle, and then I complete the triangle, and I keep going to fill the whole paper. So you can keep it as close together as you want, but always kind of keep that triangle in mind to keep things evenly spaced around your paper. Next, I'm going to go in with the second largest image, which for me right now is this leaf. And oh, okay, calm down. And I'm going to stamp the leaf in some of the open spaces. And because the leaf is, you know, it's not symmetrical like the flower. It's not the same on all sides. I'm trying to turn it as I stamp so that it looks a little bit different each time in the pattern, and it's not, you know, like just the same thing over and over again. I'm ignoring the bottom edge a little bit because I know that I'm going to die cut it. So that's why I'm not kind of going off the edge. But on the other edges, I definitely want to make sure to go off of the paper to keep that pattern continuing and make it look like it does not end at the end of the paper. Now I'm going back with the smallest image in the last color, and I'm just going to fill in all those tiny spaces. So again, going off the edges. Oh, I want to put one right there. Is that going to be too much? You know what? I think it's going to get covered up anyway by the sentiment. All right, so there we go. We made our own designer paper. You could just use designer paper if you want to, but I love the look of these beautiful stamps and the bright colors. So the next part of this card is going to be die cutting. I'm going to use this rounded edge, but you could use any of them. We've got this one that has like a nice point. This is kind of a fun one. Maybe we'll use this one on the envelope. And so it's just going to make like a scalloped border. Now when you're cutting your envelope, you can kind of see where the glue flap is, and so you want to cut it so that there's still a little bit of that glue flap to keep the envelope closed. So I'm just going to go right at the edge there, and this is going to fit through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So we're going to do both of those through. We're using Big Mama for this one. The smaller one just is not quite big enough for the border dies unless you are cutting a skinny piece, but to go all the way across the card front, we need Big Mama. So let's start with the envelope. The die fits all the way across the platform, and if you can, I would try to like just angle this a little bit so that it's not going in. Like I'm trying to angle that. By this I mean the envelope. Trying to angle the envelope a little bit so that it's not all the way across. loosen those cards before they fall onto ink. Oh, okay. Oh, that is so fun. That just added like a nice little decorative edge to our envelope. I love that. Okay, now we're going to use the other one to die cut the paper that we just stamped. So let's bring this back through. And so this is, right now it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So whatever I cut off is going to be what shows through the bottom. So I want about 1 inch or so there. Like I'm going to have some of the designer paper peeking through. So that seems like a good amount. And if you feel like you have slipping dies, you can use Post-it notes to keep it in place. So Post-it notes have that just temporary adhesive to hold your die down. And then the Post-it notes just peel right back off. And you can use them again if you want. Okay, so there is our die cut border. And you could, like, you know, add a piece of designer paper back here, or, you know, add like a little strip so that it is a little more decorative. I'm just going to leave it white. I kind of like that, just having the, I think it's really elegant just to have the cut flap. Okay, those are going there so I don't lose them. I want to add for our card, let's put this aside, bring our card back in. So I chose the thick basic white cardstock so that I could stamp on the inside and not have to add a layer. Because I was covering up the front, it didn't really matter what color it was. So this is going to go across the front, but I wanted to add a little bit of designer paper underneath. And so maybe you guys can help me decide. I'm kind of leaning towards green, but we could also do the yellow, or, ooh, that's nice too, the Calypso Coral. This is a different pattern of the yellow. And then we didn't use the Flirty Flamingo or Navy, so I'm going to say probably not those today. So leave me a comment, let me know if you like Calypso Coral, Crushed Curry, or the Just Jade to go underneath here. And while you're deciding, I am going to do the greeting. So for the greeting, I'm going to stamp in Just Jade. I have this little piece, it's 3/4 inch by 3. Maybe it's 3 1/4. Let's do a quick measure. 3 1/4. And, oh, here's my stamp. I chose Best Day Ever. My daughter Anna just turned 11, but when she was like 5, every day she would say like, "This is the best day ever." It always tickled me, you know, to see what it was that pushed it over and made that day the best day ever. I'm using the Everyday Label punch to layer the sentiment on. So this is a carryover punch. I love that one. It's been a while since I've used it. And so I'm just going to layer that strip on here. And that just kind of gives a little decorative edge. Now this stamp set, the in Symmtery, it is bundled with the leaf border punch. And so this is kind of fun. I'm going to stamp and just do, like, I'm going to use these pieces. But if you wanted to create a border, you can punch and then you line up. Can you see, like, I'm lining up the punch with this shape here. And it's going to do another one and keep them evenly spaced. So if you have a longer piece of cardstock, you can keep punching with that border punch and just create like a leaf border that just continues on and on and on the whole width of your cardstock. So I'm going to use these and just tuck them back here, just like as a little accent on the sentiment. So this is what is going to go up here on the card. And so you can see, even with this sentiment, we're using all of the designer, or all of the colors. So let me see what you guys Let me see what you've said that you liked. Thank you so much for sharing the video, Karen, and everybody else who's shared it. Okay, let's see. Marilyn says, just jade. Ginny agrees. Terry likes Calypso Coral. Lynn likes Crushed Curry. Alita says Calypso Coral. Geraldine likes just jade. Oh, I'm sticking my fingers on stamps. Colleen says just jade. Janice says green or coral. Jillian says coral. Cindy says green. Margie says crushed curry. Margot says green. Sean says green. Amanda says green. Joe says green. Kay says green. You know, I thought we were pretty evenly split. Bab says coral, but I think just jade, I think that is winning. So we're going to use that. We're going to use some just jade. So I'm just going to cut a little strip of the just jade designer paper to go at the bottom of the card, but honestly any of those colors would be beautiful. So when you're making this card at home, maybe you'll make one of each. Maybe you'll use all of the colors to create your card. I think 1.5 inches is going to be enough. Let me just see. It does go up on the side, so yep, perfect. I don't think I could have gone any less than that though. So let's glue on our card. I'm going to start with, there's my adhesive, it's buried. I'm going to start with the designer paper and put that flush all the way to the bottom of the card. Oh, we've got a stamp on the inside, right? And then just trim this off. So the paper actually comes in 12 by 12 sheets, but I just cut it down to 6 by 6. I think I pulled that from the paper share, so that's why it was cut to 6 by 6. All right, I'm going to add this on top. Oops, I think, yep, it's empty. Let me grab another one. Like I'm so messy today. Okay, I'm going to come all the way up to the score line and make sure that it's flush, and then come down here at the bottom. And I think I went over, I don't know how well you can see this on camera, there's just a little hangover on each side. So I'm just going to give that a quick trim. Oh my gosh, I really love the way this turned out. Let's do some regular adhesive underneath the banner and onto the label. Oh, we forgot these. I love glue dots for little pieces like this. So let's grab some glue dots and we're gonna just stick those. I'm going to kind of come under here. Just lift that just a bit. Okay. That's lovely. And then we'll do Stampin' Dimensionals to put this on the card. Here they are. I should take a picture of my desk because it is a hot mess tonight, more than usual. I think because of all the stamps we used and the blending brushes and the grid paper and all of that craziness. Oh, that's beautiful. I want to add just one more thing. One of my favorite like just add one more things is white twine, white baker's twine. And this roll is part of the snail mail twine pack. It comes with white and pink. I've talked about it a few times, so you guys probably already have it, but it is 50% off. So if you don't have any of the snail mail, then you should definitely pick some up. You can get it in my online store at juliedavison.com. I'm going to share the link to this flyer again. This is the last chance products, and you only have 2 more weeks. This is almost done. The mini catalog ends June 30th, and so all these last chance deals also end June 30th. So if you've been eyeing any of them, like the snail mail twine combo. Make sure that you get all your favorites before June 30th at these awesome deals. So many items that are up to 50% off. Here's our finished card. I really love the way it turned out. I think it's just right with a little bit of punch stuff going on, and the twine maybe is a little too big, but okay. Oh, now I want to trim that. So tell me which card is your favorite of all the cards that I shared tonight. We've got the best day ever with Symmtery. Oh my gosh, our party puffin, so stinking cute. And then we made 2 cards with the blending brushes and enjoy the moment. And we got those from the catalog. Remember, we did some casing of the catalog tonight, and so make sure that you download that. I'll put the link in the video description. The recipe, they call them sample recipes, but it is the supply list, essentially, is what it is. So you can download that PDF at juliedavison.com/downloads/AC2021_recipes.pdf. So I'll share that link. Make sure you get that out. You can print it if you want, but it is like 170 pages or something crazy. But hopefully it will just help you as you case the catalog and you get inspired by the samples, and it'll give you a little bit more details and information as you are copying those samples. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm so glad that you were here, and I hope that you enjoyed the cards that I shared tonight. Have a great week. Make sure to tune in on YouTube on Sunday at noon Central Time for Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. We have some fun projects we're going to share this week. I can't wait to show you. Until then, happy stamping.